All right, so it's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. I need a motion to appoint a temporary chair.
So moved.
Who is it?
Dave.
Okay.
Dave, Eddie.
All right, so we got Denise, Jordan, Dave, Eddie. Okay. Yeah, they got one, Denise and Jordan. And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. There we go, opposed. Oh, there you go, Dave.
Okay. 6 o'clock. Richard Manning.
There's no changes to the, you gotta
Okay,
approve
I didn't see
the,
that.
amend and approve the
Oh,
agenda.
Jesus.
Sorry,
Forgot that last time.
that's okay.
I wasn't going to do it, let it do it anyway.
You want to be out of here?
Yeah, I don't have any changes to the agenda. Does anybody else?
No?
Jordan? Any
Nope,
changes?
Okay,
no changes.
okay,
Paul? All right.
yeah, we can.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Second?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
There you go, sorry.
Now we can move on to Richard.
Back here tonight on behalf of Bethel ATV Club, we're looking to add a couple more sections, some road use in to open up another section of trail.
Okay, we saw that, right?
Most of the stuff for this one, I think we already have in place, from the Four Corners in Olympus up to Bryant Road via the Campbell Road. And then up onto the existing trail that goes out to Hooper Hollow, but we'd like to see about going from the end of Hooper Hollow down to where Harold White lives, and then taking a class 4 road there, kind of looping back onto the existing
Hooper Hollow
trail.
was down to where Harold lives?
I think it's Harold White.
Or Robert?
Talking about Robert Franks at the very end?
No.
No.
I think it's
Harold
pretty,
is on the other end,
I
yeah.
was going to say, I know that hill pretty good. At Robert White, there's a road that goes down towards into Rochester. It goes back up on the hill and back around this trail.
That's Robert
Yes.
Franks. I think that goes this way, but I think
Yeah.
they're, yeah, looking.
But Robert White lives,
Oh, he's down here.
no, Robert White lives right here.
Oh. I thought-
Franks lives down here.
Oh, that's Franks?
This is a class 4 road. This is a snow machine trail.
Yes.
Up on the top side here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I thought Franks was here.
Nope, that's Robert White. And I think
Oh.
he's moved down off the hill recently. But anyway,
yeah, I think his son is still there though, correct?
yeah, I think so.
But anyways, yeah, by White's place, we would be taking a left to loop back onto, towards the snowmobile trail.
That road is got a gate on it for springtime.
No, it does not.
Oh, they must be they removed it.
Yeah, because there's a camp out there along the Vast
Oh,
Trail.
really?
It's been there for a number of years. I'm assuming that's their access road to it as well.
Okay. Well, I actually know where that is.
Yeah, and Richard had said that someone had mapped it out and that the whole loop was like, was a 6-mile loop, so it made a nice trail.
Yeah, it'd be about a 6-mile addition for us from the
Yeah.
Four Corners going out, coming back.
Yeah, I would just use the map that you gave me.
Yep, that's the one there.
Yeah.
Just a question, curiosity, do you have a trailhead up in there anywhere?
Years ago, I think there used to be, but right now we currently just have the one trailhead down on Sand Hill Road at Diane Places.
Okay. All right, thank you. Well, we need a motion to allow.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved, so passed. All right, you're good to go. Thank you. All right, public comment. Anything that might be of interest to folks that's not on the agenda? Ellie?
I want to just encourage, I'm hoping to see all of you people at the Recreation Center this Saturday at 2 o'clock for our big skateboard park party. I thank you for letting us have it. It looks like good weather. We've gotten, I've just heard that we've gotten some music. It's going to be there, refreshments and good. And I don't know if you all know that there is a little tradition or something between skateboarders. I don't know if any of you have Instagram, but we're on Instagram because just the other day it's reported on Front Porch Forum, but I also saw it. A wonderful skateboarder from Burlington was here enjoying our skate park the other day, and he left a little, I don't know what you call it, traditional thing, but he left good shoes and a skateboard as a, I guess,
What they do.
yeah, whatever thing, and so he left it, it's there, and he put it on Instagram under Vermont State Park. So he loved our skate park and wanted to leave his mark, or the skateboarders, whatever they do. So it's there, and so we're excited that we've been approved by the other skateboarders of Vermont. And anyway, and I do have a question. I've noticed there are 2 piles of rock stone over there. What is that?
I don't know, I thought, when we originally started, I thought it was material left by Michael Parker, and I wasn't sure how much of it REM was gonna use to build what, to build the accessibility walkway there. So it's still there in the handicap parking area?
No.
There's these 2 new piles I just saw yesterday, or today. 2 new piles. They're closer to the Floyd house, but they're 2
They're
new.
right where we used to walk through to go into the community garden.
But they just appeared?
They were there
I
last
didn't see
night.
them the other day.
They were there last night when I was there. Or actually
I didn't
today,
notice
maybe.
them. They're right,
Okay. I have no idea.
yeah.
I'll ask AJ.
Yeah, there are 2 piles, right when you drive in to the right.
Okay, I don't know, Ellie, because I thought the last I'd heard they were, we had the piles over there by the ramp. So let me,
Yes.
I'll
and
ask
those
AJ.
are done, but there's 2 new piles. It's in there.
All right,
Yeah,
Good stone if nobody claims it.
yeah, well, the town will go get it, but I'll ask AJ,
Okay.
the assistant road
Yeah.
foreman,
so, yeah.
entering, skate park. They'll probably still be there, for your event on Saturday, but
Yeah.
I'll let AJ know.
But they're way
Yeah.
down.
Huh.
They're right as you enter on the right.
Idea. All right, well, I'll find out from AJ and get it removed.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
yeah.
Anyone else? Ryan?
Brian Wright, Therese, how come the obstructions are still in the right-of-way up in the end of Gillian Road?
The what or what?
The obstructions, you know what I'm talking about? The
What
truck.
Did Jeff come up? He was
Yeah, but
last,
the obstructions are still there.
yeah, but you don't need to get,
And when the road washes out again, which it's going to, then that's the only way to access that. There was over a week, I couldn't get up there because
I know,
the farmers purposely put the obstructions. They
Yeah.
put a fence, they put a truck, they put sawhorses with no trespassing.
yeah,
The 10 feet of road was washed out, Dave. I don't know if you saw it up there
Yeah.
at the end of Gilead.
yeah.
So I'm caretaker of Mr. Cedric's camp. So I just set over one width of the four-wheeler and drove out. On the way back, Beverly caught me and chewed my ass out and actually stood in front of me and wouldn't let me go down. This is in the town right away.
Yeah.
And the next day, Andrew went out and put a pickup and sawhorses and stuff right in the right away.
Yeah, well, and Jeff has since come up with the bulldozer and smoothed it out, so you have access to
Yeah, it doesn't
Cedric's.
make any difference. It's law, state law.
I understand, but you don't need to be in the right of way if the road is now available for you to get through. And I wasn't sure if Jeff had started the work yet, because obviously we're going to do more work there, like we've talked about. You and I, we've all met with A&R to go up, and we're gonna do about $30,000 worth of work to that road, and then we will reclassify it. The idea is to reclassify as a class 4, because as you know yourself, it's currently marked as a state, is not up to standard. So, look, it was a bad week. We were short-staffed. I couldn't even open the office Friday. It was tax week. I was trying to deal with them to try to make a thing with, by the time I would have got a hold of the sheriff and done this and that, I just thought I could try to mediate something between everybody. And I sent them information about that. There was a whole dissertation from Vermont Governor's Institute about it. I sent that to them, and I just was like, all right, I just don't have time to get into a pissing match about this. And so I called Jeff, because he had already told me and Chris that he would go up and smooth it out so that you could get access and Doug Hart could get access, so that Mr. Sedgwick could get his sill. I think he had some sill work to be done in the cabin. I know you had to get up there. So I asked him to just make it passable, and so that you could get through and Mr. Sedgwick could get through, and of course an emergency vehicle. And my understanding is that's where it's at, that it can, someone can get through there now.
But that's not the idea of it. I know you were busy that week, I
Yeah,
understand that.
and the
But
idea-
how many times did you ask them to move it? And then Chris went up and met with them and told them they had to move those out of there.
No, actually he didn't. I thought he did, because he went up and he was meeting with Jeff Townsend, and Beverly and Andrew were there or something, but we had not called to make an appointment to meet with them. They happened to be there. And I asked him after, did you ask them to move their vehicle? And he said no. But I had emailed, I'd called and texted. And I was just like, all right, it was, let's just get Jeff up there because you needed access. And by the time you go to, call the sheriff, and it was just gonna be, it was faster to get you access to do that.
Well, they're still there, and it's illegal.
But right now,
They have no right to do that.
right, but I guess, yes, you're right, I'm not gonna
They
argue the
had-
point, you're right, they should not be parked there. However, we, as a town, don't need to be in the right of way because we can be in the road. So we don't need to be in the right of way.
But I needed to be for a week to get out there, and I wasn't able to.
I know, I
Because they
understand.
purposely blocked it, and they have a habit of doing that to certain people,
Yeah.
kicking people off, certain people they don't want on the right of
Yeah.
ways, they block it,
Yeah.
or and they need to be moved. They
Yeah.
need to be, because when you allow them to leave that there after you tell them to, you're just fueling their fire and giving them ammunition and
Right.
thinking, boy, we are the boss of the roads up
Right,
here.
that was true. I
So-
thought of it that way. I was just trying to make, with a short amount of time, to make a solution so that you could just get there. But you're right, well, they're gonna have to move stuff, and I assume once Jeff comes, they will. But I will follow up with them in the next couple weeks when he gets started. And to your point about it washing out again, that's why we're doing this. We're gonna ditch it. We're also tilting the road a little bit so that we can manage the drainage, because it's been a nightmare up there. I mean, I've been up there with A&R, you have, the Class 4 Road Committee's been up there. Also, too, is we take, where your right-of-way is, we take quite a bit of water shedding off that field. So the plan is to deal with that so that during another storm, we're hoping to mitigate that so we don't have that big of a deal. But you're right, I'm gonna have to write a letter and the whole kit and caboodle. I just really had hoped that it wasn't gonna come to that it just would be,
Well, they
you know.
don't listen, they take the law in their own hands, and they do what they feel like doing, they
Yeah.
have for 30 years up there.
Yeah.
And there's no need, if you ask them to move those, they should be moved. I know if
Yeah.
you asked me to move something out of the right of way, I would absolutely do it.
Yeah.
But they're just defying you,
Yeah.
and they've defied people for years up there.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, like I said, you're just trying to, mitigate a situation to the best outcome without, starting a can of worms. But,
I don't need to use their property, but if the road is washed out, I like to be
Yeah.
able to use 4 more feet of the right of way to be
Yeah.
able to get out there without getting my ass chewed out and kicked off and blocked
Right.
from going down
Yeah.
the road, and then come to you and you don't make them follow through and move it.
well, it's hard to make them. I mean, I guess I could write the letter. I could, send a legal letter. I could get the sheriff. But, I was just trying to mitigate a situation to get everybody out there. But, because that was going to become a massive issue that I just didn't have time to deal with. But it will have to be dealt with. And, but yeah, I was getting text messages at 6 in the morning and, so.
I know, absolutely, but I was out here just a few weeks ago in the municipal parking lot, and there was a car that had been parked there too long, wasn't supposed to be there, and it was being removed, apparently by the town head, or
Not
it was
me.
out here in the parking lot, and the guy was moving it. I just joked with him, I said, he said, yeah, it's not supposed to be here, it's been here too long.
Maybe the sheriff's office
Same thing up there.
had reached out to them maybe, because there's also parking permitting and different process out here. But anyways, so you were able to get to Sedgwick's camp, and at least you can get out there, and Mr. Sedgwick, is it doctor or Mr.?
Doctor, he's a psychologist.
Oh,
And Dave, just so you know, I've been thinking, I mow his lawn. I've been thinking about mowing it a few times for free to see if he can figure me out.
That might be a challenge.
Is that what a psychologist does?
yeah, yes.
All right.
So anyways, yeah, hopefully.
It needs to be moved, you need to put your foot down and say, this is the law and you gotta do it. You don't disregard it because it fuels the fire. And they've had their fire fueled up there for 35 years and I've had to put up with it.
And
Yeah.
Brian, free to call the sheriff, and
Yeah.
the sheriff can meet you up there and remove it.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah,
if you
call
give
the
him a
sheriff's
call,
department.
you can directly call the sheriff, and if that's a town road, it'll be pulled right out.
Yeah.
Even though it's there now, even though I can get by it, I can call them.
No, it doesn't matter. It can't be blocking the road for that long, so if you
Yeah.
call them,
I don't think
I
so.
mean, Jeff is
Yeah,
moving the road by it.
it's
now,
not
so-
blocking the road now. I don't know. You know what? That's a legal question, but Jordan is absolutely right. You could call the sheriff's office at any time.
Just to free
and-
up your time.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and see, they'll come out and take a peek at
It's
it.
against the
And
law.
they
You're
need to go
double.
out Gilead anyways to,
You know what, I'm pretty sure you know what they're gonna say to me? That's it, you're gonna have to go to the town, because it's a town right away, and the town has jurisdiction over the right of
well,
way.
you know
I'm
what?
not sure.
Call them and let me
Call
know.
'em in, yeah.
I'm not
call
so
'em.
sure about that,
It's-
Brian, because there's a new sheriff in town.
yeah.
It's
And
not
and
our
going
he's-
pretty well.
And he's a different guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to them about her harassing me coming down the road, and they said, we don't want this to escalate, but it's a civil matter.
Yes. Yep.
But they're,
Well, that's,
Yeah,
And they were
that's-
right.
That's a little different.
That is that's a civil matter, but yeah,
different.
certainly give them a buzz. And I just saw one of
it's
them
still
today,
there,
one of the sheriff's
and
office.
just tell them that it needs to be tracked.
Because you have the authority
Yeah.
to make them move it,
Yeah,
and that's what should be done. Don't ask them, and then when they don't do it, I texted you every day that week, you know. And I know you're
You
busy,
emailed
don't-
me, yes.
Don't get me wrong, I know you're
Yeah.
a busy person, but
Yeah.
it kind of pissed me off, and then you texted me and said, well, Chris was up there, and Chris
And I thought he had.
Chris told them,
yeah, I thought he
To
had,
move them.
but he didn't, because I called him, and I think I emailed you back, I don't remember, but it was tax week and we're shorthanded, but yeah, trying to deal with it. And so,
by all means, if they don't, absolutely move the truck and the fence over outside the right of way to, if that's
Yeah.
what they want to do, but get it out of the right of way. It's got to be out, out of the right of way.
Call Ryan Palmer and he'll be there. There's always the sheriffs within a half an hour to an hour's drive around here. Call them, that's their problem now. We hired them to help us out in town. That would be your best bet. Other people have called and they get pretty immediate results from the Windsor County Sheriff, so they're the folks to call.
I will do that if it's impassable again, but I'm saying now, it's just got to be, it should be moved. Because you fueled their fire and they know now that you're not going to stand behind what you say.
yeah, I had my conversation with them, so I get it, I know where it stands, and it's,
Okay,
so
We'll,
but yeah, feel free to call them and I'll talk to Bev and Andrew.
I'm not going to call the sheriff now and say, come move this rig, because they're going to come up and say, you can get through all right, 10 feet
Right.
or 12 feet that
Exactly.
Jeff has fixed up, but
Okay. We'll add them to
there's no
the,
reason why anybody can't, if they wanted to, set over 3 feet and go up through there if they wanted to,
Right.
without it being blocked.
yeah, I think it's more of a family dispute now, but,
And of course, they're mad because you gave up the road and now I'm gonna fix it up, so they're all upset about that. That's another whole fight. But anyway, that's
All
not
right.
nothing to do with you guys.
okay,
okay, well, thanks.
all right, thank you, Brian. Anyone else?
And actually, the agenda helps me out a little bit, because this has to do with ATVs on public roads. And so I noticed that the motion and the vote came before public comment, and that's sort of on the local, on this particular iteration, that's a small thing. Last in the meeting of the 13th, it was not on the warning, and it kind of came up suddenly, so people didn't know about it. And this time, it's, the very first item, and then there's public comment after the fact. So this is my public comment after the fact. But the first thing I got to emphasize is that I have no position on ATVs on public roads. The process, though, looks a little shaky in terms of, I guess I'll skip all that and just say my recommendation is that we avoid the kind of controversies that we have in our neighboring towns and throughout the state. There are several towns that are battling over this, and I don't want to see a battle over this in Bethel. And so I think the process has to be kind of streamlined and more inclusive. We really need to get the community involved. I mean, some towns are now having community meetings after everybody's fighting. Well, my recommendation is we get together and decide how far we're going to go with ATVs on public roads, where it makes sense, where it looks like a luxury, where it might be for, I mean, there are a lot of people that come to town and bring their machines, and not a lot, I don't know. You probably know better than I do.
The first weekend we opened up a couple weeks back, we did have a group that came down from Swanton and St. Albans. They had 11 machines, and I actually led them around to show them our trails.
But that's great. What I think we want to try to avoid is just hordes coming in, unloading and tearing up your trails. But and also just on public roads, there are arguments on both sides. As I'm saying, I'm not taking a position on that here, and everybody knows the arguments on both sides. You know the arguments on both sides. So let's try to avoid the argument. And I'm suggesting we probably do that in a town meeting next year. If it becomes, but I think we just want to watch it. If there starts to be friction between regular traffic, ATVs, then maybe we should make sure there's a forum for some discussion. And that's it. That's my whole pitch.
Am I correct that, so we have an agenda meeting of the ATV Club, everyone's free to speak on that subject before public comment? So it being put out on the agenda that Hooper Hollow Road, Old Stage Road, so everyone can feel free to join the meeting, and when that comes up on the agenda, you can speak on it at that time. You don't have to wait till public comment.
So there's a public comment period.
For anything that doesn't attend to the agenda.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you. That helps.
Has there been any issues up on your road?
Yeah, but they're not yours. I mean, there are people from out of town in the summer. They're probably all under 20, and they're going about twice the speed limit. And we all know that happens.
Yeah, because I know there is a couple of camps that are over off Charlie Wilson Road. Yes.
Right, yep.
So
I have the same problem.
anybody to be on the roads that we're using as a VASA trail needs to be legally registered with the state of Vermont. And you have to have your VASA trail access decals.
Yep.
In order to get all that, your machine has to be insured and all that stuff as well.
Yep.
And we have a posted speed limit of 15 miles an hour.
Right.
And as we open these, are the state police going to be
We're
on the
still working
trails?
on trying to get some law enforcement stuff coordinated with VASA.
I think Ryan is also someone to speak to. They have a couple side-by-sides that they can be on the trails.
Yes, and
watch
then,
it.
and again, I've been working on reaching out to them, but I've a busy schedule as well at work. But yeah, we're trying to coordinate with local sheriffs and with Fish and Game.
Yep.
So that when they are in the area, they can set up and check out the trailhead or some of the intersections in the town roads that we use as connectors.
Yep.
And Eric, if they're doing that road, feel free to call the sheriff's office.
Yeah,
And, you know,
especially
if you're
they're
home and
from
you
out of
see
town,
people,
not registered, right?
yeah.
Nothing to do with us.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell, but, whether they're registered or not, these are kind
Or
of...
if there's
Well-
a certain time they're coming through, you can let the
Yeah.
sheriffs know that around this time, and
It
they'll
does
try to
get-
come sit.
Yeah, it is there is some regularity that shows up as the.
Or write down the plates and vehicles, and that's also good information for them too. That's what we do up on the hill.
Yeah, it's quite possible if they are from out of town and out of state, their machine's probably not registered, so it's probably not gonna have a plate
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, and really, this is a beginning issue right now. I mean.
Well,
not
actually, these
really-
trails have actually been in place in Bethel for quite a few years. They just haven't been updated much since prior to COVID, a little bit before COVID. And that's one of the things that we started last year, was trying to get these things back up and going and actually having them sanctioned with VASA again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, isn't this the first time where they're using like Dart Hill and?
Yes, this year is, yeah. Prior to that, we had some private land where we used to be able to, but since there's been some change in some landowners, we've lost some access in certain areas, so we're just trying to be able to use some of the town roads as connectors to the private land stuff.
Yeah. So my take is, we just watch it and then make sure that communication stays open so that we don't get a.
Yeah, I've actually, there's,
Great idea.
I'm done.
Maybe you could,
I actually have a resident on Goaliesville that I'm keeping in contact with to make sure there's no complaints, and another one actually up on Dart Hill.
and my own personal feeling is, I understand and we see it on our hill, and I wish you well as far as just trying to stop it, because I believe the people who come to us and that we grant them permission are going to do the right thing.
Yeah,
And I
people
can't,
doing all that
and
is-
none of us can stand there and say, are you going to be a good boy?
Yeah, the other thing
I mean,
prevent is anybody that's a resident up in your area that has a legal machine from driving down the road to go visit a neighbor like they've been doing for the
Oh, yeah.
last 20
Oh,
years
yeah.
either.
Yep. Raymond's my neighbor and we're dear
all right,
friends.
well, I hope, hopefully you can work with that group and see what you can do.
Talk to Ray too, and he can
Oh,
keep
yeah.
an eye out for some of these machines. And
Yep.
if we can get a description or plate number, then we can do something with it.
Okay, yep, Al.
All right, thanks.
All right,
Hi. I just wanted to kind of raise a little bit of concern about other construction on Sand Hill. Just specifically about the fact that so I live at the very bottom of Sand Hill. And when they were doing the thing, they were pretty good about communication at first. And then they had completely blocked our driveway.
Yep.
And no warning. Which obviously isn't a problem. Me and my partner are both very young. We're perfectly fine walking the extra 30 feet, but I just wanted to make sure that going forward, they were gonna at least try a little bit with some other neighbors who may not have, who might have accessibility issues. And
Yeah, did that happen today, Aldi?
no.
Okay.
This was in between meetings.
Okay, all right. I know we had to emergency close the road today. We're gonna be closing it for the next 3 days during the day because there's some undermining issues. So with traffic trying to leave one lane open, the road is collapsing in places. So we allow emergency vehicles through, but I'm not sure what the issue was certainly, but I can speak to Bob and, just let him know that if they're.
Because
Yeah.
we're not home, just a note on the door being hey, you're not gonna have access to your driveway for one night.
Yeah.
'Cause it was just one night, but it's also if that's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did let some of us know yesterday. They came knocking on doors. I have a shared driveway, and they let us know that unfortunately they weren't going to be able to get it all done because, like Therese said, they said that it's been dug up so many times that it's compromised, and so I don't even know. I think they might have the road closed even in the evening because of where all the barriers are.
They're not supposed to, because they're supposed to let emergency vehicles go through no matter what. So that's
They were
was our
gonna leave it,
conversation
yeah.
with Bob today. But I'll talk to Bob. He's the probably, yeah. He's the on-site engineer.
He's
So
the engineer.
but I'll let him know, because that's not right. They should have at least taped a note to your door or something.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not the biggest deal for us, but it's definitely
Yeah.
just something that I was having in mind. When it happened, I was if this was a bigger problem, there wouldn't really be anything we could do after it's come home and it's all your driveway's just fenced off with a giant 10-foot hole. in front
Yeah.
of it.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, thank you, Aldi. I'm sorry about that, and I'll talk to Bob about it and let him know.
okay, I think we've hit about everybody. It's here. Anybody
Unless-
online?
Unless Paul has a
Only
public
Paul's
comment.
the only one. You okay, Paul?
Yeah, so Sand Hill is gonna be closed through traffic for the next few days,
Yeah, maybe 3.
from that end.
But emergency vehicles will be allowed to go through, so I'm assuming they're gonna be open at night. I had a conversation with Bob about it today. It's just during the day because the road's been dug up, so it's collapsing. And so they're digging, it's collapsing, and then there's cars going by, so.
Yeah, no, I'm working at the, like halfway out Sand Hill, so I just wanted to, I'll come up the back way.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. So we get to review and make a decision about the new fees for wastewater and potable water? Is that-
Water and sewer rates.
Water and sewer
Yep.
rates?
Yep, so this is where you become the water sewer commissioners. As you know, Richard is the chief wastewater operator. So when we set rates, they go from July 2024 to June 2025. The proposed sewer budget will increase the sewer rate from $195.65 a quarter to $198.38 a quarter, an increase of 1.4%. And the water budget will increase the water rate from $125.12 a quarter to $129.51 a quarter, an increase, that's an increase of 3.51%. The water budget includes the Phase 2 loan payment, and we're in Phase 2 now. Just like the general fund budget included the $13,000 and change to cover the road work. So the budgets go in the town report, but they're draft. They're not approved by the water sewer commissioners until now. And so Richard and I have recently, we've gone through the numbers multiple times, and, this is where we're at, so.
Well, I will say, personally, it seems to be a fairly reasonable increase considering what everything else in the world is increasing. So I would accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Did you have any questions, Paul?
No, I mean, it's about a $29 a year increase, and of course, everything, like Dave said, everything is increasing.
Yeah.
So it's another impact on the aging population
Yeah.
of our water and sewer users. So, but I think the town's done a pretty good job of trying to keep those increases moderate as best we can.
Yeah.
keep everything.
I mean, it's hard with all the infrastructure, improvements that we had to do. And then, of course, the wastewater system is aging. So it's, trying to manage them responsibly,
Yeah,
so.
that's what, 40 years old now?
Yeah, and it also
I think so.
actually includes some of the repayment on the Phase 2,
Yeah.
It's going to be incurred, so that's a good thing too.
Yep, absolutely. And, yeah, is the plant 40 years old now, Richard? 35?
Yeah, I think it came online like 88.
84, I think, is it plaqued on the door, by the door, isn't it?
I think-
Anyway,
I thought it was after
84,
that.
88, whether it's 36 or 40, that's a long time.
It's pushing close to 40, yeah. So it definitely has some aging infrastructure. There was some stuff that we addressed last year in this current budget cycle that we had to rehab, a couple of triple reduction gearboxes. And I think we got out of that fairly reasonable because a new one is like 33,000, and I think we had them refurbished for 5,000 to 6,000 each.
Yeah.
And we had to do some other work, building new drive shafts for the clarifiers and some other stuff.
Yeah, and Richard also had got that grant for some of the money from the EPA changes, and you're going to be cleaning out one of the,
The second oxidation ditch, we're
Yeah.
trying to get cleaned back out and have it ready to go online if something happens to the one that we're currently using. So trying to be proactive with some of that stuff as well.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the 0.46 miles of Upper Gilead that is Class 3 that is not up to standard. So we need to discuss to reclassify as a Class 4 road.
yeah, so this is kind of it's the same process you went through for Wright Road. So you end up, obviously it makes sense to make it Class 4. Now's the time because we are going to be putting some money into it to bring it, so that it's passable and it's in better shape. So that way, when you formally declassify it from class 3 to class 4, you haven't been getting state highway 8 on it in years anyways, but at least it will be in good shape and you'll be able to do that. So one of the things you have to do is you have to set a time to go and look at it, just like you did with Wright Road. And I was wondering, because you have to give a certain amount of notice, if you were interested in doing it at the July 8th meeting, maybe just meet earlier, and you could meet up there at 4. It's an idea. I mean, everybody can look at their calendars, and but we need to set a time, because you have to give, I believe it's 30-day notice, and which would be for
So we have to make
Beverly
a decision.
and Andrew Wright, and then there's one other, Mr. Sedgwick, of course, and then there's one other, Town of Rochester, and there's one person who owns a small parcel, and their name escapes me right now. That's Rogers, thank you, that lives on there. So, so that was my thought, but if you guys all have busy schedules, you could do it the last, select board meeting in July if you're not available for the 8th. I know it's around the 4th. I don't know if people have travel plans.
I'm open.
I'm good.
I'm more open to the beginning of July than the end.
Okay, what about you, Paul?
Yeah, me too. I've got plans for the end of the month.
Okay,
And south, so yeah.
so 4 o'clock, it gives you a chance to get up there you don't have to walk the entire thing, but maybe by then you could probably drive the thing because Jeff should be done. And then you could, meet on site and then come back here. So I don't know if 4 o'clock is too early. Want to do 4:30?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what time we went up for Wright Road.
I was gonna say, if we can drive, which hope we can, I
Yeah.
mean, we shouldn't be there more than half an hour,
Right.
actually, on site. So, it's a half hour up, a half hour back, hour and a half, 6 o'clock, that's 4:30.
Okay, well, let's do 4:30 then.
4:30, July 8th.
On July 8th. All right, I will send the appropriate notices.
Okay. Planning Commission has a request to appoint Gene Kraus for another 3-year term.
And Eric Webb is the chair of the PC, so he's the one who sent the letter. And Gene had been on the Planning Commission before, and then once he became elected to the Select Board, he became an ex officio, so just same thing happened with Denise, so he attended their last meeting.
So, okay, so Eric sent the letter, so
Yep.
we need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Thank you. Okay, we have I think in the packet, there's a note from Deb Dancause, resigning from the Rec Committee. We need a motion to accept with thanks.
I make a motion to accept with thanks. Deb showed me a long list of really good ideas that she had for the Recreation Committee, and it's kind of sad that she's has to get done so quickly. So I make a motion to accept with thanks and regret.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, next on the list, we need to authorize our interim fire chief, Gary Kugler, and/or Assistant Chief Greg Timmons to sign all required paperwork to purchase a used fire truck up to $60,000 from the insurance settlement.
So we're trying to buy a truck from another town. And Gary had gone to look at it, and he felt like he was going to be able to negotiate a deal. Now they're talking about maybe doing a sealed bid, so we're not really sure. We're trying to see what we can do there. But as I said in the packet, we were able to, with some pressure, apply to the state, that the state has agreed to make us whole on the fire truck. So our value of the fire truck was just under $250,000. We know it's going to be just under $500,000 to replace the fire truck. They have agreed to compensate us for the balance to make us whole on the fire truck, as well as to purchase a used vehicle. So I'm not sure where they're gonna end up getting it, whether it's gonna be in town or, so I wanted to be able to authorize Gary and Greg to sign the paperwork, in case it happens on a weekend or they have to go somewhere else and, I'm not here. It just makes sense to give the two of them authorization. And the money will come from the insurance settlement. It's not coming from, the town. And we should be seeing that check, I actually would assume this week or next week, on the fire truck. And they've already contacted the state police, and I've signed over so that they can, that now, the total truck now becomes the property of the insurance company.
Did the state give us a limit on how much we could spend on a used truck?
Well, we're saying, I know what Gary's limit is, he doesn't want to go over, he wants to go less than this, obviously, but they did not give us a limit. I mean, I had originally pushed for $300,000 to go into the capital fund, and I was kind of beating the bush to see where I could get the money, and then they agreed to make us whole. They didn't, there was no limits, and they're supposed to be putting us out the paperwork, but obviously we were looking to spend less than that. But anyways, we were very grateful that the state had decided that they're going to pay out of their state liability claim fund, because,
Wow.
what were we going to do?
There's a nice Mac there sitting in the parking lot of the fire station when I came down, a Mac fire truck, nice looking.
Could be, they're looking at other vendors right now. They're meeting with other vendors about building a fire truck, because fire trucks are custom built. So, and it's gonna take anywhere from 2.5 to 4 years to get a truck, hence why we need to purchase a used one, because we don't currently have enough seats, we're not carrying enough water, and we're not carrying enough foam. So certainly that's what the used truck will be for. So that's why I wanna authorize them to be able to make it in case I'm not here, that one of them can sign the paperwork.
And I'd just like to give kudos to Therese for all her hard work and all the emails and phone calls and text messages and letters she sent to all our local and federal officials and the governor to get this ball rolling. And Dick McCormick did help her with some of it, but Therese worked very diligently to make sure that the town of Bethel was not going to be on the hook for the rest of the 250 or 300,000. So thank you, Therese, for your hard work on that.
Thanks. I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Town manager's report that we haven't already gone over?
Yeah, so we sold we had a tax sale. Most of the properties had redeemed except for 2, and we were thrilled that they were bought at tax sale. So we collected $40,623.19 of back taxes. And so now the person who bought them, obviously the person who owns the land has a year to redeem, and if they don't, they become the person who bid on them will own them. So the work has started to reclaim, and it may be done today, for reclaiming Gilead Road back to pavement. I saw it the other day and it looked good. They'd taken it down and rolled it, and obviously.
I was up there today.
Yeah, are they done?
They had one little strip left, up just below Jeff Gilman's,
Yep.
maybe a quarter mile
Okay.
on one edge.
Yep, and AJ, it was done? Yeah, and AJ they had been in touch with the contractor with Pike, so they were gonna be out to go to chloride it. Unfortunately, it was not what we hoped it was. We obviously had assumed, that there was more pavement there, because that way when they ground, they would have built it into the base, but it was only about 2 inches of pavement.
Yeah.
So not what we were hoping for. I had gone through Morgan's budget with Morgan, and just in materials, we'd ordered $45,000 worth of material. So I would assume at this point we may be going out and having to do like 3 inches across, which is not a waste. It's not a bad thing, because when we do get the money, the $500,000 to pave it, it's just more added to the
I
base.
was hoping for 6 inches.
Yeah, I know.
When I went up through
I
today, I
think-
said, boys, could use some gravel.
Yeah, and for the budget right now that we're sitting on was calculated 45 grand, and that would do, I think, 3 to 5 inches the whole way through was what AJ was thinking. So we may end up doing that and then rolling it again, and obviously more chloride. But yeah, we were surprised, not happily surprised, that that was all that was there. Had been told that there had been an overlay, so I don't know. Had there been an overlay in your lifetime up there?
Once, I think, but
Yeah, that's what I
that
thought.
was like 20 years ago.
We're pretty
Yeah.
thin, though.
So it's, yeah, so we were, hoping for more pavement there to reclaim. But we met with FEMA, so we are now finishing up July. Still have not got money from the state or from the feds for our July flood, but we're working through that. I have a new person coming. I'm on my third FEMA person, but we did do our scoping meeting for the December flood damage, so we'll be dealing with that. But one of the projects that came out of that is a very large culvert on Sugar Hill, which will be about $1 million. So we'll be on the hook for 12.5% of that. So I just drafted the RFP for engineering today, and reached out to the state wanting technical assistance and asking them to take a look at the bid. So that will be a process. We're there. Tim Mills' family had fundraised for 2 benches, and they were placed at the band shell on Tuesday. They'd been stored with the flood last year, and there's a couple nice plaques, and a lot of his family and friends had raised money for that, so they're now at the band shell. So if you haven't seen them out there, they're there now. And we did receive another grant and aid for $25,250. I think that's going to be a project that we're going to do on DART, where we're going to tag 2 grants together. So, so despite everything, we're still looking for money and begging everybody we can, writing grants. So that's it, unless you have any questions.
I don't,
Teresa?
Yeah.
Is there an update on the stormwater part of Sand Hill?
No, nothing good. I saw some emails back and forth between Mike Maynor, our engineer for Aldrich and Elliott, and the EPA. So we're still hoping, I'm still hoping that obviously that project goes out to bid. And I did talk to Mike last week, and told him I wanted the paving bid out separately. Bob was in today and, saying, well, if it goes in the spring, I'm like, if it goes in the spring, they're going to burn me an effigy on the green. So I'm like, we really need this to come through. But, we're doing all we can. Certainly, we've got the money from Bernie, and it's just a matter of going through the EPA, and there's been a lot of hoops to jump through, looking for arrowheads, bats, and the whole kit and caboodle. So we certainly had given it to the engineer in time, and there's just been some, delays. So I'm still cautiously optimistic.
It's going to be difficult to get a company to come in and do that. You were going to be able to do that, or?
It still has to be competitively bid, but obviously if people know Hebert's on site, there's some people that just won't bid. So, I don't know. It's just nothing I can control. So, like I said, keeping my fingers and toes crossed.
we're not seeing the road. What we're seeing is not what we thought we were going to see.
No, they've run into a lot of problems. Richard could tell you that. And of course, they're doing temporary fixes.
In front of Denise's house, it was pretty wet and stuff too.
Yeah.
There's a
That
new
was some
box
of the-
culvert that's there.
That was some of the issue with some of the cave-in stuff too, is because everything's so wet.
Yeah, and you know, and then there, things that are getting broken is the stormwater that we're going to be replacing in this other, with the 750,000. But so they're trying to Band-Aid that back together, but
Bob has been doing pretty good though, because he has the prints for the water project and for the stormwater stuff, so he's trying to make sure that as the water line goes up through, there's not gonna be anything that's gonna conflict with the new stormwater when that portion
Yeah.
does happen. So hopefully, once that goes, it'll be pretty
Yeah.
smooth sailing for them.
And we also ran into a positive thing up there, that the Sand Hill water line that's existing from Bicentennial up is already a 2-inch, so we actually saved quite a bit of money out of the bond.
Yeah.
That, and we'll, you know, not to say, you know, we already had to put in an extra valve in, you know, one place, and we'll do that to create redundancy and closures in the system, but we did save a little money there, so, but I don't know. I'm hoping, Paul, it's really all I can do at this point.
Now, Richard, how about the private line? Is it private line that goes from the town garage yard, down around down over the bank and down through to Diane Places?
It is.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
private.
thank
Yeah,
you.
that section is,
That's
yep.
private, okay.
Yeah, they pay, I'm not
Any
sure
other
when that
business
happened, but
that
they all
anybody else
paid
has
to put that in there.
come before the town?
Oh, minutes. Right here. Select-
Oh, well, before we get there, as you can see, it's not what I usually do. Select board minutes of 5:13. I didn't either.
Didn't either.
Did you see anything, Paul?
No, I didn't see anything out of whack. Thank you.
So I would accept the motion to approve as printed.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
All right.
Right.
Okay.
So other stuff in the packet was, let's see, financials. If you have any questions on the financials, those are in there. I'm not sure there were any other minutes, actually.
Brett, there's a couple in there.
Oh, was there? All right. Okay, so there's other minutes in there, and then there's the financials. So if you have any questions, let me know. Also, all the information and the math on how we calculate water sewer rates. So, but
Maybe there wasn't. I thought there was. but
I don't see
You're right.
anything,
You're
but
right.
I don't see anything, but, yeah, and if you have questions on the financials, or you do later, it comes to you when you're reviewing the packet again, just, call me, email, whatever, stop by.
I do like it when you put little notes. When I see a number, I say, shit.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Why?
yeah, yeah,
Already there. She's already read my mind.
yeah, no, well, I have to do it, try to keep myself straight.
So, bottom line, we're doing okay for our June 30,
Yep.
meet our numbers?
Yeah, I need to go through the road again, department, now that we went through just materials and they had 45 grand, so that we could spend on gravel. We'll go through and look. I always go through and do a look-see for the road department as well as the fire department, especially with Gary, coming in later to see if there's, just to remind everybody, look, you have a budget here. If there's money left to be spent, do you need hose? Do you need this, that, for the fire department? And obviously for the highway budget, it's looking to see if we have, can we squeak out more material? That's, with anything that
We definitely.
that we've
I would-
underrun.
Just a side note, I was driving down to Jordan's house actually the other day, and 2 fields just before his house, when I was a kid, we would just drive off those roads into those fields.
Yeah,
The fields are now 18 inches higher than the road.
yeah,
So that 18 inches of road material has gone somewhere,
yeah, no doubt.
right there.
Yeah,
Not everywhere, but that particular spot.
yeah, no doubt. No, I did talk to Chris the other day about starting his, the road. I mean, you all picked well, not you, but everybody else has something to spearhead. And I did talk to Chris about starting on the road, planning for the gravel road plan. So we did talk about that the other day as well.
Which reminds me, I need to contact my friend Greg, because he doesn't talk to me too much about that. I don't know if I pissed him off or what.
Is the grader up and working now?
Yep,
So they had trouble with it after the rebuild, right?
they did, yep, and they've called and talked to him and, and about what was under the warranty and this and that. So, yeah, they did, but they've been in touch with them, so they're aware of it and see what happens.
Okay. Now we can see, is there any other business necessary to come before the board? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.